Hey, 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 Beat Baseball World. Welcome back to the Beat Ball Blues Show. I got tripped up already.
Hey, Neil Dog, another one that doesn't watch the show.
Actually, I think
the introduction.
Not that everybody's been introduced properly yet, but I think when Cousin was on before, his little warrior cry was highly appreciated by the audience. So he'll win out over us trying to tell him how we do our show. Seth Dogman, I am Neil DAWG back here with Bam Bam. I'm not going to say your name anymore, Seth, because we threw off your boy.
Yeah, right.
Mighty Bam Bam. There you go.
that was funny. That was funny.
All right, everybody. I think this is going to be a little more even off track than last year's Christmas show was, even though it's a smaller group. But we are joined by a bunch of fellas from the Bayou City Heat tonight.
Let's go.
Your cousin up in the house. Hey.
Let's go, baby.
What do you say, Seth? I didn't hear what you said.
I said something about our cheer or something like that.
Oh, all right.
Bayou City, I don't know, something like that. Whatever we say after Bayou City. What time is it? There you go.
What time is it?
Time to represent.
I'm just combobulated.
Bayou City, what time is it?
I was, being that they were one of our biggest competitors when I was still playing, I was never a big fan of all the Bayou City cheers, but I have to say that after Bam Bam joined the Heat, and hearing little Delaney and Landry when they're like, I don't know, 3 and 5 years old, walking around the house, go, Bayou City, what time is it? I became a fan. It was pretty darn cute. Seth would call me sometime just so I could hear those little toddlers doing the Bayou City Heat cheer. Before we introduce everybody and let you know who all is here and dive into this week's show, I do want to give a shout out and some love to our Beat Baseball family, starting with the pitcher of the Tyler Tigers. Fonzie messed me up. Elsie Haskett, I think is his name. Elsie, I know Elsie's his first name. Elsie Haskett. His wife Sophie passed away here recently, so obviously that's a big loss for the Tyler pitcher and the whole Tyler Tigers family. So love to all of you. Be well, getting through all that. We are here with you. And also Greg Gonteric, a friend of mine, someone that Bam Bam and I played with back on the Dogs 20 years ago almost. And then also Bam Bam, you got to play with Greg with the Bayou City Heat, our featured team tonight. But Greg has had a relapse with his cancer, unfortunately. We got word this week that he's in hospice. They're asking people not to call, not to text, but there is a link where you can, and I'll try to get that out maybe as part of the show. And but you also could reach out to Steve Guerra or myself, but Steve Guerra, the secretary. There's a link, kind of like a bulletin board where people can post messages, and Janet Leonard is reading those to them. So if you want to send your love, you'll be able to that way. But please respect the family's privacy and just give as much love as possible to our man Greg Gonteric. Guys, I mean, honestly, this dude Gonteric.
Any way to give money to that cause?
I'm not sure about that, but we could, like follow up with that, like when we put out the description of the show, if that's out there. But like Fonzie and Seth, and the rest of you that have played with Greg, like this dude Gonteric, man, just loved playing beat ball. Like when I met him, I believe around '89. And I didn't get to know him that well then, but like he was playing then. He's older than me by almost 20 years. I haven't played in over 10 years, and that guy would have played last summer with the Legends if you know what he's going through had allowed it. Like, he's 70 whatever years old. He still was playing beat baseball. He loved playing the sport. That dude was a warrior.
That's right.
OG. That's the warrior.
Yeah, that was OG Triple OG, man. OG Triple OG. Much love
for the real one.
Yeah, so shout out, love to Greg on Turk, and man, just get through everything as best as you can, man.
Yeah,
love
he's
to
one of the best players I've ever played with, Neil. OG Triple OG, man. Very energetic. He was always just fired up, man. No matter what time it was, how we faced adversity, he was always fired up, man. I love that guy. Man, I wish him the best, man. I really hope to see him soon.
No, I agree. I never knew him too well. Ironically, I played with him the year that your team beat us. We had won 3 championships in a row, and then the Heat, when you won your first in 2002, that was the year he played with us. And I really didn't know him that well, but I thoroughly enjoyed playing with him. Like, after that was the only year we played together, but whenever I'd hear his voice, I'd go like seek him out and give him some love because
You know what position he play in the field?
Say that again.
You know what position he played in the
Yeah,
field?
he was mostly an infielder. Like because he wasn't always like on his local team. He bounced around to where when he didn't have a local team, he bounced around to whoever had a team. But he was a really good infielder. Like for like the Dogs, he ended up playing like center field because Eric and I played up front. But he's somebody that any team could plug up front and feel confident.
He's a player too, right? He wears a glove, right?
I don't know.
He wore.
I don't remember. Did he wear a glove?
Yeah, he did. Used to.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for those, mostly, people check out our show know this, but not a lot of beat baseball player wear gloves, so that is unusual in our sport. So yeah, no, just
like Derek Jeter.
Something I've always a word I've like to always use for our OGs is just warriors. Like the player, cause our tournament's a grind, man. Our tournament's a grind, and there are some players that just show up year in and year out, ready to give their team everything they got, and that was Greg Gunter every single year, even into his older years. He's a unusual story in our sport, man.
That's right. That's right. Much love, man.
Right. All right, so let's move on. Let's get into some positive stuff. We got a very fun, obviously exciting team in the Bayou City Heat. And we're going. Our man Fonzie Madrano was our 2021 Jim Quin Award winner this year. So we're going to get into that, but I want to get everybody introduced first. But Seth, before we introduce everybody, man, I shouldn't throw our boy under the bus like this, but Fonzie calls me the other day to confirm they'll come on the show. He's like, man, they'll be good. It'll be cool to go out there and dispel all these rumors. I was like, rumors? So the Aztecs and the Heat are not joining forces. There's still just one Houston team, apparently. And Marvin Morgan, Randy George, Mike Coughlin, that was all rumor. They're not joining the Heat. So those were all rumors. So
man, we got like 50 rumors going around.
Fonzie's here to dispel all that.
The Heat is the talk right now, man.
All those names, man, that you just said, Neil, man, I can't believe it. I just feel great that we have all these new additions to the team. Man, we're just so much stronger. We're gonna be so much solid next year. It's gonna be unbelievable, man. We're gonna be a threat to anybody. I just feel like I want to say, just thank you to all the players, to the team players, man, that we have. That, I can't wait. I can't wait till next year, man. I really feel like we're just gonna be, man. We're gonna be freaking solid out there. Insane, both sides of the plate. Defense and offense, and oh man, it's gonna be great. I just look forward to a really great year. Just to be highly competitive. Yeah,
we're gonna talk a lot of. We're gonna finish up the show talking about all that stuff. Let's get this whole crew introduced on the show for the first time. Somebody I haven't talked to in a while, Mr. Tanner Gears. What's happening, Tanner?
Big boy Tanner.
He's probably muted.
Tan
Man.
I'm back. I got my my video up.
Part of the Bayou City Heat, Tanner. Let's hear it from you. Bravo, Tanner, come in the room.
Welcome to the show, Tanner. We got a wild party going on at Johnny Steele's house. Johnny Steele over there with himself, cousin.
We got tacos sitting on the plate. We got the game.
Hey,
And you
guys
guys
representing East Oakland.
You guys introduce the new Heat spotter to the audience for us.
Pancho. Oh, he's outside. Hold up.
Pancho, what's up, baby?
Here's the one team. He's spotter. Let's speak up.
Hey, ¿qué onda, cabrón?
¿Cómo estás?
Let's speak up, spotter.
You're live right now.
Oh, I'm live?
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is
The show's already spun. Seth, did we lose you? I haven't heard you say a word.
You have not. You lost a little bit, but you haven't really lost.
Tacos, guys, so you'll be in and out.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
Hey, just so you know, man, Juancho, man, dude's utility, bro. He's utility player. He does everything. He pitches, he spots, he coaches, he freaking catches. He does the whole nine, man. He runs. Everything, dude. He be a player.
Yeah, right now he's cooking tacos. He can do that too.
As a retired player, that's way more value to me than any of the other stuff you listed.
And he can drive, so he's every blind person's best friend, you know?
Yeah, right. A driver.
We need to get his pilot license.
Pilot license. Yeah.
So is he coming over from the Aztecs also? Yeah, I'm sorry, the Aztec Warriors. I don't.
You want to give him a little feature? You want to give him a little feature? We'll let him go ahead and get a feature. That way we're
Nah, I came from the Lone Star Road Runners.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be with the Aztecs for like a year, and then I went back.
Pick him out.
And we picked. I went back to the Lone Star Road Runners, but you know, I guess they didn't have their stuff together this year, so I just went to go ahead and drop down and just came and visit my friends over here, and then
we asked him to drive us to the scrimmage one day. Yeah.
When did
I don't know where the miracle just occurred, you know.
When did you start out with Lone Star?
When did I start with them?
Yeah.
It's been 5 years ago. That's when. I started the Lone Stars with Dennis.
All right, so you're no newcomer. You've been around a bit.
This is my 6th year going around.
Yeah. All right. Hey, since we're focused on the household right there, Johnny Steele, man, this is your first time on the show. Tell me a little bit more about you, man. What's your beat baseball background? When do you start out?
I went to my first World Series would be Wisconsin. I met cousin about 2 weeks before Wisconsin. But actually, let me go back further than that. I'm kind of missing.
I found him in the orphanage.
Let me give a shout out to the Colorado Storm because actually when I was living in Denver, Colorado, I touched base with these guys and had a few practices. But it was kind of weird. I met them before the World Series too, and it was like, well, we already have our guys. We're going, and everybody's got the grant. What do you want to do? I'm like, man, I barely know about b-ball. This time I'm not joining you guys. But Johnny Walker, let me give a shout out to him. My first pitcher, man.
Yeah. Love J-Dub.
Everybody loves this guy. Everybody loves this guy.
All right.
What happened to me? I'm Motown Amarillo. There was no b-ball. And I knew got limited information on the game. So I didn't know, man, you could live out in the middle of Egypt and still play on a team. So I'm looking for a local team. So about 2 weeks before Wisconsin, I meet cousin over here, the turkey. And, I've been in with a couple practices, and they need some players, but he's trying to play cool with me. He's like, yeah, man, we need some. If you want to ride along, we're going to the World Series. I'm like, man, it's 2 weeks to the World Series. He's like, yeah, I got your room, man, if you want to go. I got free time, man. I'm here. So my first appearance is in Wisconsin. I'm still young to the game, but you know, I'm an athlete at heart. I played high school football and this and that. So
all right.
You know, like my boy Big Marvin and Joseph Fleeks, let me get a shout out, man. Football players, you know, we caught on to b-ball, man, and I've never looked back since then.
What did you play in football? What did you do in football?
Linebacker, baby. Outside
Linebacker. All right. All right.
He said I was the water boy. That's cool too. I had to do that. I had to do that just one last past World Series with this sorry boy.
Hey, let me jump around for a minute. Tanner, man, this is the first time you've ever been on the show, man. I know a lot of people in beat baseball know the great Tanner Gears, but give us your background. How did you find the sport? How do you end up with Houston? Because I believe you live in like Arizona, don't you?
He left.
He did?
No, I think I heard his thing drop off.
Okay.
He's muted. You know, looks like it's. Well, I don't know.
No,
there we go.
Oh,
there we go. There you go.
No, no, I actually saw it on TV, and then that was when Johnny Walker went down to play with Dan Green, and they were doing a little fundraiser thing, doing publicity, and that's how I got into it. So yeah, and then I wasn't even going to go to the World Series, and I told Dan, I was like, man, I just want to go, like I'll pay my way, blah blah blah. And, whatever. I just want to be there. I don't care if I play. And he was like, yeah, I'll ask Johnny Walker. And Johnny said, yeah, let's go. And the first person that I'd ever met from beatball, besides those people in Tucson, were Lupe Perez and what's the coach, Don?
Oh yeah, Don Robinson.
Yeah, we hopped in the elevator, and we did. I didn't. They knew about beatball. I didn't know shit. And so they were like, "Oh, you're here for beatball," and I was like, "Oh," But then the guy that was helping us like forced us to sit together, and none of us wanted to sit next to each other. Like, no. But yeah, so that was that's how I got into it.
How do you end up with Houston? Because you've been playing with Value City for quite a while.
Frank motherfucking Fazio.
There's our winner, Fonzie. We got to now. I was talking to Fonzie earlier on who was going to make us write Explicit first. And the Tan Man is our winner. Not the first time we've had to write Explicit. Go ahead.
Well, my apologies, but yeah, Frank Fazio, man. I was at it was the weekend Osama bin Laden got killed. We were in I was in Vegas at a marketing conference. I left the Slammers and I quit that team, and I put out emails to I think it was just Austin and Houston. That was like the only teams I wanted to play for, and no one got back to me. So I was just like, fuck, I'm not going to play. And then we're at this marketing conference, and my wife was like, oh, there's someone here with a guide dog. So we like waited for them to come out. They were like way up in the front, and came out, and I walked up, I said something to Frank, and he like turns around. Frank's huge, right? Like compared to me. And I was like, yo, he said something. I was like, oh, yeah, man, I'm totally blind. And he's like, he just immediately changed, and we started talking, and I told him what happened. He was like, fuck that, and so Charles called me, tried out, and that was it.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to dive heavy into the Value City Heat and what's going on with them, and why there's a lot of excitement surrounding that team for 2022. But man, Fonzie, I got to give you mad props because you won the Jim Quin Award this year, the 2021 Jim Quin Award winner of the National Beat Baseball Association. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Way back when I started playing, 1987 was the first time I played in the World Series, and one of the coaches of the team I played with that year, I remember when they gave out the Jim Quin Award that year, turned to me and said, yeah, this is the MVP of the entire league. Like outside of, what I mean, on the field, whatever, like this is the MVP of everything right here. And over the years, that is the way I have looked at that award. So being someone that's never even been nominated, envious of you, Fonzie, but well deserved though, because, and I'm sure the number one reason behind the nomination is, for outsiders that don't know this, or even insiders that don't pay that close attention, there was a problem with the usual production of beat baseballs that our sport and people who depend on beat baseballs is used to. And Fonzie's been doing, Fonzie, been doing a ball that you've been working on prototypes and sending out to teams and getting support behind, the league, helping you like with your production, like further it along. And then all of a sudden, there was the bottom line is this past year, the 2021 World Series could not have been played without you stepping in and providing the 200 balls that the World Series needs to be played. So, man, props to you. Props to you. What was that like winning that award?
Oh, wow. I mean, I gotta be real with you, man. I didn't expect that. I was sitting at the table and Tim is talking and everything, and I'm like, whoa, hold on, what? I had no clue, man. I promise I had no clue that I was gonna receive that award. And when they called my name, I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it, man. It was just like, oh man, it was like a dream, because I felt like at that time I actually accomplished what I wanted to do that year. And well, I've always had a dream of building my own ball, but also to have it played in a World Series, to make it official. As an official beat baseball, we could play in the World Series, and it happened. And when I found that, it lasted throughout the whole series. I mean, it was played within the championship games. I was like, wow. I mean, it was just like a feeling where I can't even explain it, man, because all that hard work, all that blood, sweat, and tears that I put into it, it happened, man. It happened, right. And I feel so good about it, man. And but yeah, man, it felt great getting that award. I was just so grateful for it, man. It was a blessing for me, man. And man, it was a happy moment, man. It was a happy moment for me.
Well, I mean, it's again, it's the award that is the MVP of the league. And if the person who stepped up and provided 200 balls when no one else could wasn't deserving of that, I'm not, I'm not sure who else would have been in line for that. On a side note, on behalf of the Beat Ball Blues show, Fonzie, and anybody that's been following the show from the beginning will probably find this a little funny. We need to order a ball from you to send to Axel Cox that he won on our show for we played Beat Baseball Jeopardy, and Axel Cox was the winner, and our prize was a Fonzie ball. And that was 14 months ago.
Hey, from Johnny Steele, he can have the one I hit in the last game.
Hey, Fonzie, before we move on from your Jen Quin awards, right? We got the balls and all that stuff, but obviously you have been involved with Beat Ball. I mean, not everybody heard your previous show and stuff like that. I mean,
including Seth.
Yeah, I didn't hear it. But I hear very few of the shows anyway, or whatever. Like, life is hard, man. Life is hard. But give us a little bit of background. You don't have to go all back into it, but tell us, how you got your start and stuff like that. And B, like, I'm interested in you being a one of these great pitchers and stuff like that. Like, what do you remember? Like, what as far as like on field experiences when you're talking to your son and he says, "Dad, man, what was your greatest experience as a beat ball pitcher?" What are one or two of the things that you're gonna throw out back at him?
Well, okay, so number one. The one memory that just comes to mind is in 2002, of course, right? When we won a championship. And I think the last pitch, the last at bat, with Lee Rodriguez, he's actually our coach now. He scored the winning run.
We like to call him Leroy on this show. Leroy Rodriguez.
Yeah, but I mean that's the memory that I would never forget. And me basically it was a full count, man. And one of the things that I remember is that he took a pitch.
Who y'all play, Fonzo?
We were against the Oklahoma Bombers. Yeah,
Okay,
they actually
Oklahoma
they
Bombers.
had a
Shout out to
yeah
the
they had
Oklahoma
a
Bombers.
they had an all-star team too, man. They had a great team together. They put a bunch of good players together, and I'm pretty sure that they were the favorite to win that year.
Yeah.
But I just feel like we did great, man. We were just fighting through it, man. And then so I mean, we had some high-scoring games, dude. I mean, I think in the
hold on, don't get distracted because you piqued my interest with the he took a pitch, because I know as a member of the Bayou City Heat, it is forbidden.
Yeah, it is.
Forbidden. It is a capital sin.
Ain't got time to take a pitch, boy.
Oh man, so basically, so if Coach, I don't know if at least listening, but I'm sure he will. But I mean, so it's like first, it's 2 outs, tie game, right? I think it's like 30-30 at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And so leaves the winning run, and we have a full count, and he takes a pitch, and I was pissed. I was mad, and I just remember at that time, like, oh shit, I can't believe it. Anyways, but it worked out, man. I mean, the next pitch, he freaking hit a shot, made it score on the winning run. I remember throwing my glove up as high as I can in the air, man. I'm just so joyful, man. It was an unbelievable experience. And and it was one of the best moments ever I had in b-ball, man. And
shout out to Coach Lee, boy. Shout out.
Yeah.
Leroy.
I mean, yeah. So it was a great game. It was just going back and forth, man. And but I mean,
how many hours did it go, Popovaza?
Oh, dude, we didn't actually. If I remember correctly, man, we didn't get back to the hotel for that banquet till about 7 p.m. That's the time we got back.
Because the championship game was like 30-29. If somebody would have made a put out, we could have been at the banquet an hour earlier.
Yeah. But the first game was a long game as well, and it was a high scoring game. It wasn't as close as the second one, but in the first game we scored quite a bit of runs, and we actually won.
Who won the first one?
We did. No, we had to win twice.
Was
that team pitching for the Oklahoma Bombers?
Yeah, Tim Hemner was a pitcher.
Oh, shout out to Tim Hemner.
Yeah, shout out to Tim, man. They had a great team. I mean, it was they went there. So they got there undefeated at that time, man. We had to win.
Yeah, that's why y'all put a 2-game series on them.
Yeah, man.
Some of the players that have been mentioned already here played on that team. Frank Fazio and Danny Green was on that team, but also that I believe was the year Benny Meyer was the offensive MVP at 59 years old. Mm-hmm. And Rob Wygant was on that team, who just made the Hall of Fame this year. Hey, but Seth asked you too to touch on your ball. Like, what's the background like? Like, how'd you get interested in building a beat ball? We've had thousands of players that have played this sport, but very few have tried making their own ball. What drove you to creating one?
Well, for one thing, man, I've always loved electronics, right? I was always building.
Baby. Shout out to the engineers in the world.
I was always building circuits, man, just for little projects that I did. And I just remember that I was like with the beat ball, man, like I wanted to build my own beat ball, but I really didn't get jumped into it until 2015. And I remember the first person I spoke to about it was Janet Leonard, man. So we talked, because I mean, she was telling me, yeah, Fonzie, there's a demand for the beat ball right now. People are demanding it. I'm like, well, you know what? Let me jump into this and let me try to create a circuit board for this, and that's how it started, man. And I remember, she was 100% supportive of me, man. So shout out to Janet, man. Much love for her. But yeah, man. So it took some time, because I had the beeping circuit already. I just didn't have it to where it sounded to where I liked it, right? Because you can make it sound different ways. But yeah. And the reason it took so long was because I had to order parts, right? So I order parts. I wait for them to come in, right? Well, guess what? Those parts didn't work, so I ordered other parts. It was just it was time consuming, just trying to get the
trial and error.
It was trial and error, man. That's what it was. And I remember the time where I found the speaker, and I found it just came together one day, man. Like, I couldn't believe it. This is it right here. I got it. And then from that point on, I just started working in my chamber. So it was just a process, man. And but anyways, yeah, I've always been interested in building in electronics and building that. But the beat ball was one of the things I thought for so long. that I wanted to do that, and I finally did it, man. I was so happy that it came true. So.
And you're back. Don't you? You've got like a master's in engineering or something, don't you?
Well,
Am I tripping?
No, actually, my associate's degree it is in electronics.
Okay.
My bachelor's degree is in business, and my master's is in psychology. Yeah, so I have like all these different directions, right? But I mean, that's the point.
I love it.
Fonzie.
Yeah,
Dr. Fonzie's in the house, and he's a big ball, king.
But you know,
There you go.
And so maybe later on, I was actually I know some guys don't know this, but I was actually working on my PhD in psychology, and I was I was in my dissertation process, but I ran out of funds. So once I get some funds in, man, I'll hopefully one day I'll be able to jump back and just finish my.
It's a fun. That's what I call him at the play.
When Fonzie wins his next Jim Quin Award, it will be for acting as sports psychologist during the World Series.
Oh my goodness, man! You know that'll be fun. I'll have fun doing that. All these different characters, man. It'd be so much fun. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, good for you, man.
Yeah, I had so much fun building that ball, though. It was great, man. When I got the final product, and actually, you know, when I got the call from the NBBA about the order for 200, I was still working on and improving the chamber of it. You know what I mean? So at that time, when I was still working on it, I built what I had at that time, right? So and it works, and it worked great. But I mean, I know I can make it better, and that's my thing is I always figure out ways to try to improve the durability of the ball. So and that's my thing. I keep trying to make it better, but. Yeah, but it's all good, man. I'm happy to do it. Yeah.
Well, man, I don't. Congratulations. Doesn't seem like enough, really, because it's more than just winning the award. You really came through, but good on you, man. I love this sport, and you made it. You had a big part of making it happen this year. So good on you.
I feel great about that. Knowing that I made a difference in the league, man, it's a good feeling. It's a great feeling. So yeah.
So let's talk.
Hold on, real quick, Fonzie.
Yep.
What makes you madder? A batter taking a pitch or missing a base?
Oh, sheesh. Missing a base. Oh, missing a base. Oh, man. That's not even that's a no-brainer because Bam Bam knows this. Hold on. Bam Bam knows this. How many games we were in where we missed bases that cost us the game, bro? And I'm just saying. And I'm just because you don't know what's going to happen after that, right? You miss a base, you give him a free out, right? So you gave him the out, and that just changes the game. You know what I mean? So, oh my goodness, man.
You need sometimes we need to call out a sports psychologist for Fonzie when people miss bases.
Oh man,
that's
guys. I got a question here. What year or when did Fonzie met Bam Bam?
Ooh, I mean, overall, like 90.
Yeah, like what was your first experience with Fonzie right there? I want to know this too.
My first experience with Fonzie was really hitting off Fonzie was, what was that, 2009, right before Stockton. I flew down there. I flew down there.
You did.
To hit off Fonzie, and Fonzie hit me my first 6 swings all in a row.
6 like that.
And I was like, man, I'm home.
I will be too, for sure.
No, but Bam Bam, I'm gonna lie, dude. You're I've had some great. I mean, I think I've had some of the best hitters ever in this game. And with Bam Bam, with Tanner, with Daryl Miner, Joe Flees, Jacory. Man, I had Lee Rodriguez. I've had so many great hitters, man, and it was good pitching to you boys, man. Like Tanner. Tanner MVP, several times, you know what I mean? So it was beautiful, man. And that gives me a great feeling knowing that, I have some great hitters, man. And I love that. Yes, sir. I really love that, man.
In the end, if you're a good pitcher and you're going into games not feeling like you have great hitters, you're in for a long tournament. So
and I know I had so many great hitters, but there's so many names that I can say, man. It's just. But yeah,
one thing I say about Fonzie, he's the ice man. Nobody can break him at the plate. If you strike out, it's your own fault, man.
Hey, but check it out, Neil and Bam Bam. So since Johnny Steele, man, I remember. So we're in Tyler, right? And then oh yeah, and a big shout out to Marvin Morgan, man. That dude was dropping bombs in Tyler, man. Also
shout out to Big Brother Marvin. That's what I call him.
So
Big Brother Marvin.
Marvin's a friend of this show, man. We had him on, and we love him.
Man, you got the Mr. Memo.
Hey, Marvin's like my big brother, man. I love him, man. And you know, so in Tyler, it's one of the best times I've ever had. I mean, Tanner was dropping bombs, Marvin Morgan was hitting home runs, freaking Daryl. Johnny Steele was out there doing cartwheels, man. He was bombing them boys, and it was that's what I wanted to bring up because, like, so Johnny Steele hits a bomb, right? And all of a sudden he hits the bag, and he on his way back he's doing cartwheels and shit, man. I'm like, what the? I just felt I was happy, man. I was like, yeah, that's what I love to see when boys are happy like that. You know what I mean? It was a great feeling, but
we did so good. I stuck my wife in the game, man. I couldn't be ball experience. Now I can do more tournaments. I'll be good from now on.
You know, she really came to see what he was really like. Let me come down here and check. That's the first time she'll be not there. You know, once Johnny gets in the field, he's like he turning 13 years old back again.
Yeah. And, you know, Johnny.
First time she ever got to spin b-ball, so I think she got hooked after we put the magic on. Because that was kind of, I feel like that was kind of a statement tournament. We were already been making moves prior to that tournament, and you came to like show up and have fun.
But then you know, when you start hitting the ball, though, that's when you realize that you know that you enjoyed the game. Once you find a good pitcher, then you know you get more motivated. You know, you get happier, then that's when the games get really turns on. It keeps going on like that.
Yeah. Then you start doing cartwheels in the field.
I don't want to say no names, but you know, somebody named Johnny went to the wrong base who wasn't even known.
So we've already turned the page on to you know, focusing on what's going on, the excitement around this team. I guess want to get your thoughts first, Tanner, because you're out of the players that are here, been with the team the longest outside of my co-host. But you know, it's kind of, I was thinking it's kind of unusual because not bring this up for like bad whatever. But you know, the Heat finished 13th this past season, which is lower than anybody would have expected. But honestly, I feel like there's as much excitement around your team and what you guys are doing right now as there is, well, like the Indy Edge and the stuff that's going on there. You guys have brought on some players that I really like, Mike Coughlin. You know, I love Marvin Morgan, Cousins, my new dude. After getting to know him this past summer. So Tanner, man, how do you feel about all these new teammates you're bringing in?
Well, we had to do this because I'm washed up. Yeah.
No,
I wasn't gonna say it.
Hey, if you're willing to say it, man, good. Now we can have a more open conversation here on the Default Blues.
I guess it's going like that. Go ahead. You got the
Go ahead, Tanner. Tanner, you know you're solid, man. Come on now, man. You're an
put the camera on, the microphone and mute. So,
dude, you know, I thought I was muted. No, I did have, I take up, you know, 13th place, you know, like injuries. I'm sick. I hope that I can get over that shit, you know, because I thought I was in pretty good shape, but I guess I really wasn't. And, you know, I take responsibility for that. But, you know, the team that we have now is really the priority. And I think Fonzie hit the head of the nail that really the big difference between the Heat this year and or this past year and this year is going to be depth, skill, speed, and defense. And I think that priority, that focus on defense, Lee has a strong focus there. Fonzie's helping too. We've got so many great additions. I think even we have a secondary team that's going to help us early in the week be strong late in the week that a lot of teams wish they had as their A team.
You have to have that too, to go deep in the tournament. Because it just you know, it's just a matter of time that, you know, players need to, over a 5-day tournament, you got to be able to give people a break, but you also need to be able to stay on that same level. So having that kind of depth.
Yeah. Not complaining with Tuesday off. If I can take Tuesday off, I'm not complaining.
But also the players you guys are bringing on, like Randy George, a really good defensive player.
Yes, sir.
Mike
Yes,
Coughlin
yes,
is
sir.
one of my favorite
Mr.
younger
Mike,
players. Big
play with him
left-hander
last year.
too.
Oh man,
Good left-handed bat.
Yes, sir.
You got to be excited about that, Fonz, right?
man. You know
Yeah,
what?
man.
Those names right there. You know, I can't wait to. Okay, we had a chance to actually see Mikey Coughlin in action, man, over here in San Antonio when we were there a
Right.
few weeks ago, man. And I was, man, Mike, he was impressive, man. I mean, that dude was just bombing right off the bat. And I mean, I've only threw him a couple pitches in Wichita, but there was
Going on quick.
the first time that I actually really pitched him in a game was right there in San Antonio. And
Yeah, he coming on quick
right
too.
off the bat, dude,
Coming
he
on
was,
quick.
yeah, that dude was barreling that ball. It was I didn't. I was telling I mean, I was like, man, dude, I didn't know Mikey was that strong. That dude can freaking bomb.
And that center ball too, boy. He's
dude-
putting it dead in the
that
center most
dude-
of the time.
Yeah,
you
that
know
dude.
his timing. You
Yeah,
know
that
his
dude was
timing's
hitting the
right
ball
on.
really hard, man. And his defensive skills is like freaking legit. He's an elite defensive player. Very strong at the plate. I mean, I think he was hitting first, second pitch every time. You know, because he was just so consistent, on point with timing and everything. He was just that dude's on point, man. I'm really happy to have him on board, and he's gonna make a big difference on this team. You know, so yeah, and also I can't wait to see Randy George on the field as well, man. I really want to see him just go out there and just shine. So the team we have right now, I'm sorry, I might get off your question, but yeah, so those boys, man.
You're on target.
And then we bring in Marvin Morgan. I mean, that dude's a beast. That dude,
Big brother Marvin.
my goodness
man.
gracious, man. When
Big
I say
brother
that
Marvin.
that dude was freaking hitting.
We are blessed.
You're like Alex Rodriguez, boy.
My
Dude.
goodness.
He's the only one. He's the only one in the world calling me young fella. So you give him as much props as you want to give him on this show.
Dude, he makes me feel like such a bitch, man. I feel so old. Like he found out that that G Wood was 70 something, and he got pissed because he's like, damn, like I got to do it like another 10 years.
Yeah.
Marvin has a lot of drive. I talked to Marvin on and off, man. Fonzie, he told me you got big plans for him next year.
Oh, we got big plans, man. You know, Marvin Morgan is a dude that's always fired up, man. His energy level is ridiculous. It's hard to match that energy level, man, and he's always on point, man. I just feel like that dude's always in the gym. He's always working out. He's getting ready. He's already getting ready for the next season. That's how dedicated this guy is, man. And I have nothing but love for that, man. I really
Dude is dedicated. He's motivated. He's
all the
he's
time.
ready to go.
All the time, dude. That dude there is ready, man. And you know, me and Marvin, man, we talk quite a bit, man. We talk like, man, quite a bit. We talk.
Yeah,
baseball,
we touch base at least once a week, me and him.
Yeah. And but yeah, I was hoping he was able to hop on, but it
would have been fun to have him on with us. But you know, at that age, he probably
I was gonna have Pedro
like an hour
I was gonna have Pedro on too, but the technology didn't get
you
to
should have brought G Wood on, man. That's what we needed to see, man. Needed to see G Wood.
Man, you know what, man? Let me hold on. Give me 1 second, man, because
I told you, man. I don't think enough people got the password, Fonzie, because Pedro was trying to get on too.
What? I put it on, the Facebook page.
He said send me the thing, and I had to get back on the meeting. I couldn't send it to him.
Oh
Well,
man!
Honestly, in all honesty, is like as far as the audience goes, the more we got on, the more of a mess it's going to be. So I think we probably had just the right amount of people to deliver a good fun show for everybody. Give everybody an idea what's going on with the Heat.
But
yeah. Oh man. Oh, you there?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, okay.
You know, one thing we need to clear up though. A lot of question because you know you got the Aztec Warriors, the Bayou City Heat joining up. Nobody knows if it's gonna be the Bayou City Warriors, the Aztec Heat.
Hey, let's clear up the rumors. Let's clear up the rumors.
Tanner mentioned that we might be going with the Hurricanes. Did I hear that right?
Come on, man.
No, it's the hitters.
That's the other Houston team.
So can we assume this? The Bayou City Heat, we're going with the Bayou City Heat?
Yeah,
I like
Bayou City Heat, baby. Bayou City Heat, let's go.
I like the Bayou City Warriors, though. It's kind of a good ring to it.
We had this conversation quite a while ago, but Darnell Booker and I were talking because he was wondering about what franchise has been, going consistently to the, being part of the NBBA the longest. And even though the Heat previously went by the Houston Bombers, they just changed the name. It wasn't like the Bombers quit and a new team formed. They just changed the name. So, and the Houston Bombers goes back to before my time in the mid '60s. So I think your franchise is easily the longest lasting, the franchise that has lasted the longest at this point.
Wow, that's great, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, Austin obviously is right up there, but they've had the same name the whole time, but the Houston Bombers were around before the Austin Blackhawks, and so either way, I guess people could put up different parts of that argument, because Houston didn't go to the 2000 World Series, so they missed a tournament or whatever. But nevertheless, your franchise has been around forever. When Seth and I were on the Dogs, we used to talk about how we wish we could be a little more like Mike and Doc. I'm trying to blank on Mike's last name. What's Michael Garrett? Good Lord, I drew a total blank on his name. But we used to talk about how we wish we were better at being more like Michael Garrett and Doc Bradley, because no matter what that franchise that you guys play for went through, they always figured it out and showed back up at the World Series. They might have had a couple years where they fell behind as far as how high they finished, and then bounce back and be a top 5 team again. So man, just the props to all the people associated to your team for keeping that whole thing going for so long.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thank you. I'm sure the team appreciates that, man. Heck yeah, that's a great thing. Beautiful thing.
I know Bam Bam has much love for you.
Neil, who's the oldest team right now, currently?
I think it's your team. I think it's your team. Like I said, people might argue Austin, but I say your team just because the franchise never went away.
So maybe the original World Series was like 4 or 5 teams: Lone Star, Austin, and whatever.
That I can't
Bombers.
Speak on. That I can't.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Because the original World Series was like 1976. So I don't remember. I don't remember who was all.
It's got to be in the beginning. It's got to be like a small amount of teams, like 6 maybe. That it was actually let's play World Series.
But go back to the love for your team. I know my co-host Bam Bam has much love for you. Haven't been taken in for you and giving him a home. And I gotta give Seth props, because this is our 68th episode of the Beat Ball Blues show, and he's had 3 ideas: the Beat Baseball Jeopardy and 2 episodes with the Heat.
Hey, Beat Ball Jeopardy is great, man. People would love that. We just need to run it right.
Number 69 as well. That means next episode.
I did hear that. You are correct, Seth. Though you are correct. All right. Well, I don't have anything else for these fellas. You got anything else for your family before we check out of here, Seth Dog?
My people, they pushed me out the door, Neil Dog. They cut me.
Oh, that's not true. They're willing to let you sit on the bench next to Tanner.
Yeah, like a third string DH.
They can't cut you. They want Trajan. They can't cut you.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna take the number 13 if you don't mind, Bam Bam.
Hey, Seth, how old were you when you were the All-Star on offense?
God, 30 something, 30, God,
39.
2012, yep, 2012.
No, it wasn't 2012. It had to be, because I wasn't there in 2012.
Yeah, I think it was like 2015. I think.
Was it? I can't remember. It wasn't. Georgia was the second time. I thought it was Indianapolis. I thought Indianapolis was the first time. Indianapolis was the first time.
But I know, see, Bam Bam would have had so many more awards, man. I think you would, if you were just, I always told you that if you were just 2 steps faster, Bam Bam, just 2. Just
You know,
two.
actually, I would say, man, well, you know, I finally got with you when I'm in my 40s. You know, when I'm a father, things are all.
No, he just ran out of gas.
So what you're saying, Seth? What you're saying is like when you were an all-star, you were all washed up.
Yeah, well, I was on it, man. Hey, I was saying, I was at the end of my career at that point. But what I wish is that I would have had Fonzie when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. I would have made
you and me both, baby.
all-stars, multiple home runs, if that was the case.
I wish. I mean, yeah, man, I'd be bad. I wish you were in the Heat, man, back in the day, dude. That'd have been, right? Yeah, we would have had so much fun, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh, you looked at that wrong. I was like, yes, that's right. If we had Fonzie on the Dogs in the 90s, that would have been good.
All right. I guess. Hey, Fonzie, I used to be fast. Fonzie, I used to be fast.
Okay.
I used to be fast back in the day. Long time ago.
Hey, let me say one thing before I get off here.
We're gearing up already down here.
Bayou City here is here, and we're here to build a dynasty. So,
all right,
let's go. Let's go. I love it.
Hey, you guys have a lot of teams that are thinking the same thing right now. So, you know, as I say,
been around the longest. Y'all just said it.
You guys got it. You guys got to put the practice in. Hey, I'm telling you guys, just fight in love. If you don't do it in practice, it will not happen at the World Series. So you guys just need to.
It's automatic.
Oh, hey, Bam, hey, hold on. Go. Hey, Bam Bam.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you brought that up, man. The practice part of it, man, because I'm gonna tell you right now, brother, we've been so active ever since right after the World Series. So right now we're like in the how can I put this, man? We're in the right direction. We're on the right path to success, right? Because I mean, we've been playing. We went to Tyler, had a blast. We played 2 games. And a few weeks later, we go to San Antonio and we play San Antonio, Austin, 2 great games. You know what I mean? And so right now, it's Christmas time. We're taking a quick break, but starting next month, hopefully if the weather lets us, man, we're gonna be playing, putting in work on Saturdays, and I'm gonna get with San Antonio and Austin again because I would love to meet those guys up again, maybe sometime in February or early March. Right.
Yeah, we're gonna play some out over there.
No, that's important. You guys need to go all the way through.
Yes.
Bring it together.
We're gonna put some. We're gonna have videos out there for y'all all year long.
Yeah, and also, what I want to say is that we're gonna be going to Bolingbrook for sure. We just confirmed our spot there for Bolingbrook. So we're gonna definitely go to Bolingbrook, and hopefully we have the Cinco de Mayo tournament this year. So right now, man, our plan is to hit as many tournaments as we can, this year to prepare us for Beaumont.
That's talking about practice. Sometimes you need that live game play. You need that live game play.
We're gonna practice quite a bit, man, and put all this work in because I feel that's like you said. That's the only way we're going to win it all, man, with practice and hard work and dedication. So,
not just you guys. I don't know if I'm just coming across it more because I follow as many teams as I can find on Facebook or whatever. But it seems like a lot of teams are like getting in work, here during the winter months. It's pretty impressive.
The league's on a whole new level now. I mean, everything's on a whole new level. There's so many young kids. There's so many talented athletes. Like, to Johnny So's point with football, you know how many athletes are now in the league that have played football at high school or in college? Like that alone. I played football in high school. I played college sports. It's like, and there's so much talent in this league now. We're getting more sophisticated coaching. We're getting more conditioning, better trained athletes, deeper strategies. The game's at a whole new level now.
Yeah. So, out of curiosity, what do you do in college, sport-wise?
I played lacrosse in college.
All right. What do you play when you played football? What do you do?
I returned kickoffs and I was a slapback, so I ran.
There's a team and
passes.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're right though. I mean, it seems like every story. I mean, Marvin Morgan played in the NFL. Zach Turner, I believe, played college football. Christian Thaxton played college baseball. Like we did this league now.
He used to be a quarterback in high school.
Yeah, so I think it's funny. I think it's funny when people say I'm washed up. Fonzie not that long ago. I was like, I love it. I love it that we've got so much talent like that. I might not be the number one leadoff batter, but more games than not, like I'm the one leading offense in points. And so it's like I feel like if I were to make the All-Star team in my elderly age with my less genetic capabilities, right? Like that's fucking amazing. And that's just through effort.
You're like 36 though, Tanner, right?
Bro, I'm 30. I'm gonna be 39, right? In just a little bit. So
Oh, I didn't know that. On behalf of the show, we'll send you a wheelchair.
I'll be 39. I'll be 39, and I've got like structural issues that I don't know how severe your shotgun blast to the face was, Seth, but fucking a tree going through your face is pretty structurally impactful.
Yeah.
So with the whole throwing your body around is tough on me, but and that's what I mean through effort, right? Like I got to get in better shape. I got to be more like Mark. Like maybe one day I can be like Daddy.
I ask you guys about practice because one thing I have noticed with the Heat, being on our Facebook page and being a participant over the last several years, is it rains like hell in Houston in the summer, and your practices get rained out. So the more practice you guys can put in now, like Fonzie's talking about, the better off you guys will be, man. Because it blows me away how many practices you guys lose.
Hey, bro, we got other cities we can practice in. We spread all over Texas.
Yeah.
We're definitely
rains in Houston. We practice in that Fort Worth.
Yeah, we'll definitely figure it out, man. But
yeah, we can make it happen.
Just start now. Keep going now, and you guys will be all right, man. Be all right.
Hey, Neil, I got a question for you.
All right, last one, cause I got to get out of here. Actually,
listen to this though. You never dispelled the rumors on. What's your rumors? You said Randy George joined us.
We already addressed all that. I mean, I was being sarcastic. Oh
yeah, but they coming from everywhere. We know.
Yeah, everybody knows what's going on with the Heat. We covered that already. But it's all good. It's all good, fellas, man. Thank you so much for coming on. This has been a fun show. I always love having cousins. It is turkey call out here with us. And Fonzie, you're my dude. Tanner, it's good to get you on here. We missed you last time we had the Heat on.
Apologies.
Man, no, it's all good. It's all good. It was a fun show. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
hey, man, congrats over there, Big Fonzie, Big Jim Quin Award winner.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
I believe
a lifetime of work. More than the balls, man. You put in a lifetime of work to the sport, man. So
I love it, man.
That's true. Been around since '93, right?
I love this game. Yeah, man. So we already know how my cousin got me started, man. And I just fell in love with the game, the competition, because I just love playing ball, man. I mean, I still play baseball here in Houston. I play for a men's league, man. I play legit baseball down here, man. So b-ball, yeah, man. So actually, I played a game today, man. I just got back not too long ago when I got on the show. Yeah, we're playing. We had a game out there.
I was trying to figure out your face kind of look tired too, though. I was like, man,
yeah, man. So I stay active down here, man. So I try to, I just try to stay in shape, man. Stay energetic, and just because I get ready for beat ball, man. So I get in tip top shape just for beat ball, bro. So that's how much I love this game.
The other stuff is a hobby.
And I love my boys, man. So I think we have a great team. We're in the right path, man. I just much love to the Heat, man. I can't wait to see you guys again real soon. So,
hey, on a final note, Fonz, I believe as the Jim Quin Award winner, you're going to have something to do with next year's Jim Quin Award winner. I'm not positive how that all works out, but I believe you get brought into it somehow. I'm giving you like a heads up. I've heard about this show that's been covering the sport of beat baseball. You can find it on YouTube. It's really cool. Neil Dogg and Bam Bam are the hosts. They cover this. They cover this sport, beat baseball, more than anything ever has.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it, but I don't need a Jim Quin.
Yeah.
I don't need a Jim Quin, Neil. It's okay.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. Don't listen to Seth Fontaine. I'm just saying, for a friend. For a friend.
I missed what he said. I wasn't paying attention, so I don't know.
That's all good. You'll see it when we play it back. Yo.
So my last thing before we get out of here, man, I just want to say a quick shout out to the Heat, man. Again, quick shout out to Coach Lee, man. He's busting his ass. That boy there, man. He's doing a great job right now, man. He's doing everything he can to do what's best for this team. So, shout out to Coach Lee, man. All the Bayou City Heat boys. I love you guys, man. I can't wait to see you guys again.
Love you, Bobo.
Oh, and thanks for all our new additions, man. I can't wait. Man. We're gonna do some great things.
All right. Well, everybody is looking forward to checking it out. We only have one more show, everybody, before the end of the year, and then we're gonna take a few weeks off. But we will be back next week for one more show before the end of the year. Thank you to the Heat and everybody who joined us. Thank you, Bam Bam. Thank you, Mr. Frank Porter, for all your work. Good night, Mama Zilla, and good night, Aunt Cindy.
Good night, guys.
Aunt Cindy, love you. Adios, toda la raza mexicanos. ¡Viva la raza!
Pues.
Chao.